right, welcome, brothers, to an invitation. We've been talking about the peaceful warrior and doing some sacred play for a few hours around the themes of the peaceful warrior to get you warmed up. And the next year, actually, want to do a 1 or 2 day workshop around all of that work. But peaceful warrior, as we talked about before, archetype, a calling that we talk about in our ecstatic path and flesh and spirit community. But it's a calling for what? A calling to be able to tap into your personal power and tap into your heart, your compassion more fully. And just the wind kind of carried the pages for me. Part of what I want you to do with me in this warm-up video is to imagine. So if you're a queer man who's thinking that you might want to come and do some work with us, especially for this fun sacred play thing around the calling of the peaceful warrior, imagination is the key. So we know in our work, and psychologists and healers understand that what you visualize actually goes into your unconscious mind much more than if you just think something. So if you have an image for it, so I want you to start imagining yourself, that you're with a lovely group of brothers, however they identify, but we're going to do some experiential work around the peaceful warrior. So one of the things that we do as kind of our signature thing is we do an exercise from Aikido that just opens us up to say yes to the universe, or to actually propel our energy out into the universe with an intention. That kind of dual, it's kind of a yin and yang of what you're putting out and what you're bringing in. And that's what the peaceful warrior is all about. It's about, in ancient Buddhism, of understanding that facing your fears and knowing who you are is the journey, is kind of, as Joseph Campbell called it, the hero's path. So the hero's journey of really being able to face the obstacles that you bump into within your own self that keep you from being in the desires of your heart, the desires of your heart in community. So this little video, I just want to give you some tidbits of things that we might do. So we're doing some sampling of, one of my teachers used to say, if you want to know the truth, touch someone. So as we're touching one another, to actually to be listening to our bodies, as we also listen to our brothers' bodies. And what's the information, what's the energy that's being exchanged? And so much of the peaceful warrior work is knowing that every time you touch, you awaken some truth within yourself, and you connect to the truth of others. So we'll do all these experiential exercises like the Aikido thing, but we'll also do some exercises, we call them like surrogate exercises, where we're actually like holding each other or cuddling with each other, and while holding each other, really holding all of the parts of each other, all the parts that are afraid, all the parts that are willing to be brave, and using our touch to bring about awareness and to surface, where do I kind of check out? Because the peaceful warrior ultimately is one all about just showing up, and showing up in your body, being present for the world in which we're inhabiting, with all of its many threats and chaoses that swirl around us, to be able to not become a victim of it, but become a survivor and a thriver with it. So we'll do these surrogate exercises where a brother may represent a part of you, brother may be representing, one of my most life-changing experiences for myself was getting a love message from a deceased relative, and words that I always wanted to hear. And in practicing hearing those and receiving those actually really changed my whole physiology as well as my mindset. So the power of this work can be subtle, but sometimes it can be just really quite profound. So knowing that we'll do some Aikido kind of stuff, we'll do touch work, we'll do some pleasuring work, and pleasuring meaning that when we touch each other, it will have an intention to it. So an intention of healing, of bringing freedom, of bringing some completion to stories that you maybe don't need to carry any longer, or that you want to just drop and let go of. I had the good fortune of working with this author, Charles Whitfield, in years past directly, and amazing. And just knowing that, all of us have an inner child, and as queer boys, how many of us got the things that we really needed, especially just to celebrate all of who we are and all the callings that we may be a part of. And some of that we can now give to each other in community, even if we didn't get it as a kid. So as we do some of this sacred play work, it will be fun, it will be great community building stuff, but hopefully it will bring about some awarenesses so that your inner child feels safe, seen, heard, known, cared for, embraced for all of who he, she, they are in this journey. So this is brave work, and the Peaceful Warrior really is about doing brave work. And sometimes doing brave work is actually allowing yourself to experience some pleasure. I think I've told this story thousands of times about how my greatest healing was when I set myself free from the fact that I thought I had made an agreement with myself that I couldn't have pleasure without pain. And knowing that I could have pleasure without pain actually changed my life radically. So we're going to invite you into some fun and playful ways of touching with each other, but all for what? To do some of your own personal inner work and going deep inside, or in our language, come home to these sacred bodies and really relish and celebrate all of them in community, and as queer men, the unique ways in which we can do that, and that we're called to do that. I think that we're ever discovering, and the Peaceful Warrior may be one of those kind of archetypes, one of those themes that really takes you deeper into getting unstuck, so you can really show up more fully alive and well, remembering who you are, coming home to your body, and feeling more awake for the times in which we live. So thank you, and namaste.